Hey, so I have a doctor's appointment, but I've been meaning to get this out and I wanted to talk about it. This may contain spoilers. I'll try to stay away from key parts. But if you haven't watched Wednesday, which is based off the Addams family and Wednesday's life, going to a school of like other mystical or odd beings who, were werewolves, vampires, lycans, mermaids, the world that really exists, but you guys aren't aware of. But like in the human form in the 3D space. And it was great. So if you're a fan of the Addams family, you probably watched it. If you're a fan of dark humor, I love dark humor. I'm very comfortable with the dark and joking about it. Um, it's a great tale, and it actually broke a record for how many hours watched. And I'm on these blogs with people saying how much they loved it, and people watched it like 4 times, the whole entire series back to back. I know why I enjoyed it. So this is going to include some spoilers, but it was such an excellent. Um, it was just really excellent as far as like showing you the dark feminine. I'll try not to do spoilers, but I'll say possible spoiler alerts. And yeah, so I'll just talk about some of the things that we were seeing that really told it. So I'd highly recommend you binge it. But I wanted to go into it because dark femininity is actually the most powerful femininity we have on this planet, because this is a dark planet. And when you're in your light femininity, which I am most of the time, but I can switch to the dark immediately, it's needed, because if you're always loving light, you can't tangle with the darkness. The darkness will keep beating your ass as you turn the other cheek. You cannot keep doing that. There is a very strong place for dark femininity, which is a place that I find myself in, especially when someone's acting foul, justice needs to be brought, someone's done something really negative to others. Being able to handle and play in the dark femininity and be there and still empower yourself really checks the nastiness and the demonic that's going on in this world. And the Christian faith is just, which is sort of brainwashed everyone. Like, I love Christ. He's actually an amazing energy. And that's the closest I've felt to like that bliss is when I've interacted with him, the bliss that from God. So I love Christ. However, religion as a doctrine really got you guys thinking you're not supposed to battle the dark. And so I wanted to go over, and I took some notes because it was just so full. I really study the femininity, and the dark feminine is like the place of true justice. So when I focus on the divine feminine, as you know, and the things that I'm uncovering as I do my research, my own work, working with deities and gods. And so I wanted to talk about how Wednesday Addams showed it and how intriguing it was and how well loved it was. And there's a certain part in it too about her friend the werewolf that was actually very interesting. Werewolf in human form. And I'll talk about that in the dark femininity and how that's very just a beautiful thing for this world. So Wednesday, if you really watch, she had strict emotional control. People try to get under her skin. People try to shock her. People try to do whatever, get her to go to their program. But she really showed emotional control where she could, she was a little cut off from her emotions, but at least she wasn't being pulled any which way. And it was a very stable force that people became very comfortable with. Another way that she was, and that's her divine femininity. Another way that she was really showing an empowered divine feminine was that she put her wants and needs first. She even told one person, I will always put my needs first. It does not matter the cost. And that's how it's going to go. FYI, guys still liked her, right? But she was so clear about putting her wants and needs first in order to be whole. And even though you would think, oh my gosh, that's so off-putting, it made people like them more because they could see that she was not going to disregard herself. She wasn't going to disregard her feeling. And then when she's pissed off for disregarding herself, then take it out on other people. Because she was very clear that she would put herself and needs first. You knew that you were going to get a whole person, not a person with layers of resentment that you now need to figure out. Because you might think you're arguing over this, but it's because they let someone do something to her way back in the day. And now they're taking it out on you when they could have dealt with it in a divine feminine way, which is being clear about your boundaries, about putting themselves first. Her connection to the spiritual world, her starting to be able to see visions, that was her secret edge. So everything would have just keep going, but that is divine feminine energy. Men aren't necessarily as in tune with that spiritual world. That's why you see the picture of the priestess in the tarot, and she's outside in nature, which just sort of represents being in oneness with herself and going deep inside in her meditative state. But that was her secret advantage. And I have to tell you, that's my secret advantage. People might think I'm a normal person, but they find out sometimes the easy way and sometimes the hard way, that have a very strong connection to the spiritual, and that gives me my edge over everyone and everything I need to do. It helps me with manifestation, it helps me getting my dream life, it helps me bringing in whatever I need to bring in. It's that connection to the spiritual world where Wednesday really encapsulated her divine feminine. And, side note, her mom was like, I'm a dove, and Wednesday's like a crow, because Morticia Addams was more about the light and more about love. But Wednesday's very comfortable with death and destruction, just watching it as an observer. But here's the key part I wanted to say about that. In her dark feminine, when anyone messed with anybody towards Wednesday with, I was going to say restraint, with full knowledge, if anyone did anything with her, she was very comfortable getting revenge. And sometimes the revenge seemed harsh, but it was very much clear, and very much no one else would go back against her. So it was very much a daddy energy within the divine. It was a very strict, dark, feminine energy. But if she got any hint of anyone trying to either attack her or anyone she loved, she was willing to go as far as she needs to take to protect them. And I thought she actually did it. She went a little far, but actually thought she did it with a level of judgment and restraint that can be respected by the dark feminine. So yes, she was comfortable with death. Yes, she was that, but she took her role, and that is a divine feminine role. Like, I protect the people around me. You do what you want, but I'm the real protector. I'm making sure all blocks are attacked. I'm making sure that all evil is neutralized before it even starts. I'm doing that with my spiritual connection. So it was just a really good thing to see with like Wednesday Addams, how all of this is playing. Like, they're telling you the story, doing this. So it's sort of funny because like she was going against the big bad man in the end, and I was just sitting there looking like, how many things I would have called up if that thing would have tried that with me. I would have been boom, 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 ancestor, da, 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 da. But whatever. I'm an advanced practitioner. And I actually like the role of the melanated woman. They thought it was racist, but that's just Twitter being stupid. I actually thought it was because that melanated woman was sort of like, I saw myself in her. Where she is the influencer. Where she has people who defer to her. Where she has influence. And she was also protective. Wednesday knew that even though they were going back and forth, she was in her feminine too. And when you're in your feminine, and both of them were, you can have disagreements, have competition, but still work together, because your emotional intelligence, emotional control tamps that down, so that, yeah, we are enemies, but we could also work together for a common good. And what was the common good? Protection of all the students. So I even really enjoyed how they had a strong, empowered Black melanated woman, the siren, as a character. And I liked her role because I see myself. I'm very light, I'm very feminine, definitely now since I've been on this journey. But like, I am quick to protect, and I'm quick to protect very fiercely. And people know they can rely on me for that. And I get dark as well. Like, I've seen people suffer the consequences. They're just consequences of messing with me. And it was harsh. And I was like, it just is what it is. It's energy. That's why you need to be comfortable with the dark energy, because you can start bringing consequences, and all this demonic energy can go and get checked. So I even like the melanated queen, because they were like, she's the queen. I mean, to me, it was an homage that, like, at the end of the day, the melanated woman was first, and she created this, and she's going to be the last. All right. And I thought they were giving homage. So even though Wednesday was the main character, they were like, no, she is significant. Like, I will make this story about you, but we can in no way, shape, or form ever forget the melanated woman and her place and role, regardless. So I actually really liked her because I see it in myself. And we are the ultimate protectors. And I thought that was a really key piece. Like, Wednesday Addams did all this stuff, but she was always in protection. She really didn't get out of her shell until it was time to protect, but that's our role. You got the male's the physical protector, but we're the spiritual protection, which is stronger, honestly. So I got to go into a doctor's office, but I just wanted to say, like, and I don't think I gave any spoilers really. So oh yeah, and there was just another part too, where Wednesday had a very colorful roommate. And the roommate, she was Wednesday was just like, oh, she was just annoyed because she was so light and airy. And she was almost doing something. She made him step towards the girl. And this girl, she looks like an innocent white girl with blonde hair. But all of a sudden, her fangs come out because she was part werewolf. And she was like, I'm not scared of you. And I do get down. Something like that. It's not what the exact words, but she like showed her fangs. and made Wednesday back the F up, right? And I love that too, because like I said, that is part of the divine feminine. I can be soft, I can be lovely, I can be cheerful, I can be airy, but don't fuck with me. And I thought it was just such a cool thing to see her take her cause out and Wednesday back up, because that's where I want to see most women are. Like, yeah, I'm cute and whatever, but like, do not mess with me. And I think everyone got humbled, and they got humbled because that's what the world needs to see. They need these connected feminine women who can go in and out of the dark or light feminine, who can battle the dark, but also bring in the light and have that versatility, and also look sweet and innocent and light, but also go, I can kick your. And this girl was actually part of the big boss scene in the end and helping everyone to be safe, right? And these are all women. And that's what the divine feminine studies and energy gives to you, both light and the dark. So I encourage everyone to, you have to have ego. You have to get rid of your ego. You have to do it with judgment. You have to do it with wisdom. But that's our role, to fly in and out and to really protect all those around us. So absolutely loved Wednesday. Can't wait for them to make a season 2. This was all about the dark divine feminine and excellently written. Even Gomez, Morticia's husband, and how much he loved her. Is that's how your man should love you. A man should always love you more than you love him, right? Even his love for her and the sexual chemistry between those two, and them not keeping their hand. That's the other aspect. That's not dark. That's just really being in tune with your womb and your sexual energy and that creation, and having this man, that divine masculine, he'd kill for you, and he bought her all the house and can afford for them to, be at this really nice private school, but and donate to the mayor so the school can keep going. But at the end of the day, he adored her, and that's also the other aspect of a very well cared for divine feminine. So good job to the Wednesday Addams. The whole it's racist, that's, I don't know, it's stupid. I y'all need to chill with that, because I loved the queen bee, the melanated woman. I see myself in her, strong, empowered, a protector. And you cannot forget us. You can never forget us. You can try to make everything about you and you and you, but never can you forget like who's the number one, right? Like, and who came first in our role in this world, as much as they try to. So I just thought, for like a side character, it was very strong, very empowered. Not in like I'm independent, but like I'm a woman, and I'm a woman here and I'm a strong one. And a lot of Black women are getting into the soft light life and luxury life that we have not had the luxury of having. But like, don't put that at the expense of the strength. Like, it's both. It's my spirit guides were like, Lisa, it's okay to be both masculine and feminine. It's okay to be both light and dark, and you got to get that. Stop trying to reject part of you, because that's shadow work. It's you. I am strong, but I'm also very cute. Like, it could be both, right? Like, so you got to get comfortable going in and out. And not that men matter, but they love it. Like, Wednesday had no loss of suitors being herself, because they like the idea that it could go either which way. You got to remember, men like a challenge. And so it's funny, because sometimes I'm like, they say something, I'm like, I go into them, and then I'm like, all right, but we're good. Let's go do this. And I just switch it up, because that's how I feel. Like, I want to switch it up. Like, this isn't fake. And they're like, did that just happen? But okay. And they actually like it, because it keeps them on their toes. And they're not getting bored. So don't be scared of all aspects of yourself. Just learn to have the emotional control, analyze it. Okay, I'm angry at this person, but why? So before you start yelling, why are you angry? Is it because they did, or something you allowed them to do, right? Because allowing is like, I kept them here knowing they did this. I kept it, there's a lot of reasons. Most of it can usually come back to you in boundaries, or not being clear with what you want, or just not expressing what you need. So hope this helps. Hope this was fun. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.